Welcome back. Hex, are you ready to count down the top 10 of the Good Game Top 100?
Oh, it's so exciting. Coming in at number 10 in the Good Game Top 100 as voted by you.
Well, what we'll do, I'll run in first, gather up all the eggs so we can kind of just, blast them all down with AoE. I think it's a pretty good plan. We should be able to pull it off this time.
All right, chums up.
Ready, guys?
Let's do this. Leroy Dragons!
World of Warcraft, for me, is the game that popularised MMO. It took what was currently the least popular gaming genre in the world, like it was really niche and really nerdy to be into an MMO, and it totally flipped it around on its head, and we had more people playing that kind of game than any other game that there was.
World of Warcraft! This is the game where Andrew said, I'm going to go off and play World of Warcraft, and I didn't see you for 2 years.
Yeah, you're right. Just even saying those words is a wild temptation that will destroy me through and through.
Some people rag on WoW, but I think it's like their proudest moment to do a game that's that inclusive. We have people of all ages playing, men, women, we had families playing together, trying to make entertainment that bridges that many sort of like demographic barriers and stuff like that. It's not easy.
Yeah.
I wanted to organise an intervention.
Yeah, and you should have. Do you remember? I just ran into an old friend once, and I'd started playing about a month beforehand, and I don't even know this guy well, and then I just started saying, you know what you need in your life? World of Warcraft.
I became this
door-knocking evangelist going around any conversation that started.
That's called a dealer.
I know, and I regret it now.
It's the game that ruins relationships, jobs, housework routines. It's the game I have installed and uninstalled and installed and uninstalled.
Games like this really are about that sort of exploration and the journey through the world, not just getting to the top level.
So many people get so many different things out of WoW that that's kind of like a benchmark of a game that provides more different experiences than any other. So in that sense, I think it's probably one of the most important games we've seen ever made, for sure. Yeah.
Every once in a while, I think to myself, maybe I'll just go back and see how the old characters are doing.
Just try it once, just once.
Just once.
Just for a couple of hours.
I thought I was out and then it dragged me back in.
Leroy, you were just stupid as hell.
At least I have chicken.
World of Warcraft started my love affair with the rogue class Barjo. I loved being formidable, but stealthy.
Yes, there's nothing quite like a good sap troll. Well, the next game on our list messed with our minds in the weirdest of ways. Goose, if you would.
Far above the world floats a city born from aspiration, driven by theocratic megalomania and torn apart by inequality. It's a city of complexity that harbours a story of revenge and redemption.
I think the big thing that I love with just the Bioshock games overall was just how well they deliver storytelling inside a set-piece action sequence.
What I love about Bioshock Infinite the most, I think, is the story. It's so compelling and so beautiful and interesting, and the characters are flawed and fantastic, and yeah, I love it.
When it comes to characters, it's rare for a first-person shooter to leave us feeling so attached, but it was hard not to fall just that little bit in love with the multi-dimensional Elizabeth.
I think it's intentional that you become closer to Elizabeth than you do to Booker. The journey that we see from Elizabeth, even in just a very visual way, the way we see her progress from such a childlike sort of Disney princess style character to this fully grown woman, and she's thrown into this life because she has no choice in the matter. You definitely form a really strong connection to her as she grows.
And the music, the music. You couldn't help but stop what you were doing and just soak it all in.
I know I constantly find myself thinking about the Barbershop Quartet version of God Only Knows all the time. Like, I need that on a playlist somewhere.
God only knows what I'd be without you.
It's no surprise that with such a complex story, the ending was going to be difficult for many to grasp.
Goose, catch!
Thanks.
The ending was like 2001. I just never quite worked out what the heck was going on.
It was an art house ending.
Yeah, I guess it was.
Because it's a Bioshock game, you were expecting a twist ending. You were expecting something to shock you, but somehow when you get to that point and you realise that there's been clues the whole time that you didn't pick up on, and it all culminates at once. It's this big wave of events. I think it's a masterpiece.
It really gives you this lovely kind of sequence where you're able to just enjoy like a last few moments with a couple of characters that you've had a great time spending time with, and really kind of get to see them off at the end of the game. And I think they did that so well.
They're doors.
Doors to
Everywhere. All that's left is the choosing.
Heck, someone once said to me, Bioshock Infinite is so beautiful, why does it have to be a shooter?
Yeah, I think what's so incredible about it is that it didn't feel like a shooter because it blended so many interesting ideas and design choices. But it's time to reveal number 8, so where are we off to next, Barjo?
Into the Wasteland.
I don't want to set the world on fire.
As humans, we're fascinated by what could happen when society crumbles. And when it comes to post-apocalypses, this was one game that set the world on fire.
Fallout 3 was another one of those games that I shut myself into my bedroom and played. My housemate was playing it at the same time, so we both became these sort of weird recluses, sort of barely showering and surviving on chippies and snacks.
Now listen close for this important public service announcement.
I want to be a gun-toting, mutated, half-lizard, hottie firing nukes at giant animals in a post-apocalyptic 1950s America.
Hey, you know that moment where you come out of the vault for the first time and you're blinded by light and you already miss Liam Neeson as your dad?
I can't believe you're already 10.
Now, when you leave your house after days of playing Fallout 3, did you get that weird moment? That weird pang of like, what am I doing? Where's the capital?
Hey, Smoothskin, you need something?
Well, I mean, Fallout 3, the second that you kind of opened that vault for the first time and walked out and you kind of saw that land, is one of the best moments I've ever had in gaming. And I just kind of looked around and went, I am going to loot the hell out of this place.
I love the way you'd open up one of those vaults and head inside and wonder what was inside. You know, it was an experiment gone wrong with plants, an experiment gone wrong with people. They let radiation seep in. Yeah, it's a heck of a lot of fun.
And I just remember sort of trudging around the wasteland and, that feeling of being completely alone and completely isolated in this incredible world that is completely crafted with love and care and attention to detail. Knowing that whatever I can see, I can go to, and there's always going to be something to do on the horizon.
And I still can't hear any music from that era without immediately thinking about Fallout. It had a big effect on me, and that's impressive for a game that was brown.
It was massively ambitious. Bethesda totally pulled it off.
Red Dead Redemption. It transported us back to the dying days of the Old West and put us in the shoes of the gloriously gritty and determined John Marsden.
This is where we part ways, friend. You have yourself a good time.
Favorite video game of all time, Red Dead Redemption, no question about it, Red Dead. He's just got that swag, like sometimes I don't even play the game where I'm like doing the storyline, I'm just like walking around, just being like, it's great, I love it.
Red Dead Redemption is, I think, the finest period game I've ever played. The thing I love about games, period games in particular, is that they're kind of like time machines. They take you to another place, a place that not only can you not visit, that literally doesn't exist anymore. And Red Dead transported you there. And I think the atmosphere in Red Dead is amongst the best in any video game I've ever played.
I could never have imagined a game where I would have been happy to go into an empty field and look for flowers, and that's it. I'm totally happy to do that in Red Dead Redemption. God knows why. I think it's probably because Red Dead Redemption has the most fully realised universe and world of any game I've ever played. The sunsets, the sunrises, everything about that game is beautiful, and it's one of those very few games where I would turn it on just to be in that world and not do anything.
One of the incredible things about Red Dead is how it can make the most simple things incredibly memorable. Like arriving in Mexico for the first time in Red Dead, it's this moving journey through this empty landscape, set to this beautiful acoustic track. You're sort of riding through Mexico as the sun's coming down.
Pushing forward through the night.
your side.
Ah, those multiplayer shootouts and punch-ups are some of my best online gaming memories, Barjo.
Yes, we certainly had fun horsing around. Nothing?
Yes, all right. Well, let's see what came in at number 6.
I knew this would be fun. They told me it wasn't fun at all, so they said it's not fun at all.
Portal 1 was this great puzzler. Then Portal 2 comes along, and it's a great puzzler, but it's also got a brilliant plot, and it is hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant! You did find a portal gun! Oh, do you know what? It just goes to show people with brain damage are the real heroes in the end, aren't they, at the end of the day? Brave.
You saw the development of GLaDOS from this secretary to this evil, overarching robot intelligence.
It's your old friend, deadly neurotoxin. If I were you, I'd take a deep breath and hold it.
And it's also one of those games that kind of made me feel quite smart, and when I was solving a puzzle, that kind of light bulb moment of this is it, it made me feel like a genius.
I mean, if you remember that one point where GLaDOS is in the potato.
Oh, hi. So, how are you holding up? Because I'm a potato.
And that is just like, who thought of that? You know, who thought of that?
They've taken all the magic of Portal, which was possibly the best original first-person sort of game experience that wasn't about killing people, and making it co-op as well.
So the entire time that we were playing Portal 2 together was basically just me being like, okay, Mum, you need to change the way you look and then shoot. And it took forever, but we actually managed to get through the first 3 co-op levels, and it's probably one of my proudest achievements.
There were, I think at one point, over 100 people on my friends list that were playing Portal at the same time. I've never seen anything like that before.
That universe, just for me, needs to continue. I just really want to see a Portal 3 because I loved it so much.
Well, coming in next up very aptly at number 5.